morning, guys. I'm in my dad's Eco Diesel this morning because the dealership called me this morning saying that my part's in. Finally. Actually, it didn't take that long, but whatever. So I am heading there now. Gonna pick that up, come back. It's kind of shitty weather out, as you can see, but whatever. And we're gonna install that, put the transmission back in. Hopefully by the end of today I'll have a running truck. Okay, so here is my new clutch fork from the dealership. This is a Mopar part, and compared to the one I got off of Summit Racing, here's that one. The Summit Racing one is way smaller compared to this one. This is way thicker. And if I put them together, align this side up, look at the length difference. So make sure you don't buy this one off of Summit Racing because it's not the right one. This would have not have worked. So we're gonna go ahead and install this now. So when you're installing the clutch fork, you want to make sure that the part number is at the bottom and it's readable. It's not upside down. And so as you can see, everything lines up. It's on the pivot ball. And so the way it's going to work, your slave cylinder is going to push this back and forth. Make sure you have a little bit of grease on here, grease on the pivot bearing, grease inside here where your grease inside here where the slave cylinder is gonna go, and make sure there's just a tad bit of grease inside the grooves, because you don't want too much grease, because you don't want it flying around hitting your clutch and then you have a greasy clutch that's never gonna fully engage, so you don't want that. So the only thing I'm missing is this little piece here. It clamps onto here and it clamps on behind the pivot ball, so it locks and it doesn't go anywhere. But that's pretty much it. We're good to go to install this transmission. It is very shitty outside. It's raining, lots of water underneath the truck, and I don't have a cement floor to work on, so it's really shitty, but oh well. I'll keep you guys updated. The other thing I didn't mention was I don't have a vacuum in my truck. I bypassed it, took it off, installed a posi lock for my 4x4, so all the hoses, the air hoses for the vacuum here on the transfer case, I just unplugged them. I'm gonna probably throw a cap on here so dirt doesn't get inside. For those of you who still use the vacuum, I suggest you bypass it, buy a posi lock for your 4x4. It's probably one of the best things I've done to my truck. It's a cable actuated 4x4, so it's a big button, you just pull on it, and that allows you to have 4x4, and if you want it, you can put it so it's in 2-wheel drive and put your lever on 4 low, so basically you're on 2-wheel drive low. So if you're going up a hill slow in a parking lot and you need to turn, obviously it's better for that. But yeah, so in case you guys were just wondering why I didn't have any hoses plugged in, that's the reason why. Finally decided to be nice out. The sun decided to just pop out of nowhere, so I think that's a sign that we need to put this tranny back in. So I got it on my ATV jack here. It's all strapped down so it doesn't move, and we're gonna pull it underneath the truck. I got a piece of plywood here so it's easier to roll. Roll back and forward, and hopefully I can get it aligned in soon enough. It won't take me too long, hopefully. And I just brought my drive shaft to the shop in town because they're gonna press the new universal joint in, because that's something I don't mess around with. It's just too much work for, you know, $50 of labor. Because yeah. All right, so transmission's looking good. We're gonna throw it underneath there and strap it in and bolt it up, and we should be almost done. So I just winched the transmission underneath. As you can see, I have the tractor on the other side. So she's in there. I gotta align her and jack her up and put her in. But to put it in, thank God I'm on these blocks, because no way it would have fit without these. I had a hard time with those. I even had to take the shift tower out, because obviously that's not going to fit underneath the frame. But yeah, so I'm about to crawl under there. Do a last little wipe with some brake clean, and then I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna do a time lapse of that so you guys can see how difficult it is to align. So alright, I'll check back with you guys after I'm done that. I also forgot to mention that I had installed the clutch. I took a video on installing it, and for some reason my GoPro didn't record, but it's there. It's actually super simple to install. There is a very good video on YouTube that I found. I'll put the link in the description. Very informative on how to install the flywheel clutch pressure plate and use your alignment tool. But super easy. Just a couple bolts, different size. You gotta make sure everything's centered though. And there's torque specs as well, so you gotta make sure. If I remember correctly, the flywheel is 101 foot-pounds, and the pressure plate, as you can see right here, I believe was 42 foot-pounds of torque for this vehicle anyways. But yeah, it's super easy. I'll put the video in the description so you guys can check that out. And yeah, so now I am gonna jack this transmission up and bolt it on, and then we're gonna throw some transmission oil in there, or transmission fluid. Gonna check my transfer case fluid, make sure that's good. Put the drive shaft back in, put the cross member, and then we're pretty much done. I'm gonna do a little clip on all the wires, make sure you know which one to use. And that's pretty much it, guys. Okay, so I decided not to do a time-lapse video because it literally took me 3 hours just to get the transmission aligned there. I don't have the bolts on yet. It's just finally sitting on those little alignment bushings. Still on the jack. But yeah, I started to do a time lapse. Noticed my camera died because it was literally filming for 2.5 hours straight. So I said, screw that. Took a break, had a beer, and then so now we're gonna bolt it in. take the jack off, put the cross member back on. I'm just waiting for my drive shaft now. The shop is pressing those U-joints in, and then we should be good to go. And yeah, I'm gonna talk to you guys about the wiring too. So, all right. So I bolted the bell housing to the engine. All the bolts are on. Now we're gonna put the slave cylinder into here. So we're gonna leave this the little plastic piece on and just put it in. Make sure that it's inside of the clutch fork, because you don't want to screw that up. And just quickly bolt that up and go from there. Okay, so that's what it should look like. The little plastic tags hanging off to the side, and we're looking good here. I haven't connected any of the wires yet. I'm probably gonna do a video on that tomorrow. It's fairly simple. It's just the ground. You just ground the clutch safety switch, and the two other wires are for the reverse lights. So right now I'm just gonna go in here. I'm gonna check how much free play we have until the clutch actually engages. So press on it. We have about, I'd say about maybe an inch and a half, which is perfect for us. That's what it's recommended. Okay, so I just started the truck up. Everything works perfectly. I have that inch and a half of play before the clutch engages, so that's perfect. So that's it for tonight. As you can see, you guys, it's dark and it's raining so shitty, but at least the transmission is in. I'm just missing the drive shaft. The cross member is actually just sitting down there, so I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm gonna do the cross member. I'm gonna do the front drive shaft, rear drive shaft. Oh, I gotta put some oil, transmission fluid, and I am also gonna check my transfer case fluid, make sure that's all good. And yeah, so if you guys ever want to do a project like this, I suggest you do something like this. I kind of put a binder together. I printed some pages for auto to 5-speed conversion, notes. I went to the Dodge dealership. I got them to print me all the PDF files. I got all my parts, more PDF files for the drive shafts, rear diff, what else? And then back here I have all my receipts. But it's always a good idea to keep track of your things, make sure you have everything, put everything organized. So thanks for watching. Tomorrow I'm going to make another video on the cross member, all the electrical for the transmission and the drive shaft, and then hopefully we can drive off with this thing. So see you guys tomorrow.